Welcome to yet another edition of the Stats and Stacks podcast. For today, we're going over UFC Paris Imavov versus Borrahlo. First things first, make sure you smash the like button. Give a follow over on Twitter, over on Instagram, over on TikTok, wherever there's social media. There's the Stats and Stacks podcast. We have a 14 fight offering, and there were no card last week to go over. So we're not going to waste any time. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to jump into the very first fight of the night. Quick reminder, the fight card is an early one this week, being in France, so it starts at noon Eastern. So don't forget to wake up, get ready, and watch some fights. Starting with the very first fight of the night, we have Shauna Bannon at plus 270 going up against Sam Hughes at minus 340. Over under set at 2.5, over 2.5 at minus 475, under 2.5 at plus 325. Let's just go ahead and start with Mama B, Shannon Ballin. China Manning's not that great, to be honest with you. She's not some sort of uber prospect. She's 7-1. She's 31 years old. So this is her fighting prime. She has pretty decent striking and a good striking like karate background, a very family oriented background in regards to MMA. I think her father or older brother or something like that own a gym. And she's been working real diligently on her ground game, and it has gotten much better. She has a sneaky good BJJ game, but she can't wrestle to get it there. And again, she's predominantly a karate striker. She does have good cardio, but in regards to her offensive wrestling being bad, her defensive wrestling is also bad, rocking a 42% takedown defense. And the biggest thing with her is her level of competition. I mean, she got absolutely flatlined by Pooja Tomar and then snapped on an armbar while she was half unconscious, so she got a little lucky there. Alice Ardeline, she won a split over a famous TikToker, so not exactly the greatest look there. And then, of course, her UFC debut, she went out there and lost in front of her hometown crowd against Bruna Brazil, who effectively has like two wins in the octagon. So outside of that, she's fighting regional scene girls who are 6-4 and 1-2 and 1-1, like nothing good and nothing to write home about. Um, She's much better when she's going forward. She does this weird hopping on one leg karate style thing. But if you can pressure this girl and back her up, she does not respond well. We've seen her dropped. We've seen her get rocked. We've seen her get outstruck. She's just not really UFC caliber in my book. On the other side, we have Sam Page and Sam Hughes. She's 33 years old, so she's also in her fighting prime, not sort of any uber prospect or anything like that. And she's the definition of a generalist. She has okay wrestling, she has okay striking, she has okay jujitsu. We saw her be on the ground with people like Jacqueline Armorim, who is a just world-class jiu-jitsu practitioner. We've seen her go out there and strike with people like Elise Reed, or sorry, with this like Estela Nunez. We saw her go out there and wrestle people, like Elise Reed. She's fought a much better level of competition as well, fighting the Elise Reeds, the Pierre Rodriguez, Luma Lukbume, Tisha Pennington, just girls that are actually ranked in the division. And she has good losses. If you give her someone that's not quite UFC level or at the bottom tier, the Stephanie Lucianos, the Victoria Dudakovic's. She'll go out there and win. You give her a top 10 girl like Pierre Rodriguez or Luma Lukbume or Tisha Pennington, she'll struggle. So it's really a matter of what you believe Shannon Bannon is. I don't like how hittable Sam Hughes is. That's not good going against a striking specialist. But again, Sam Hughes is known for her cardio and known for just pushing a pace and pressuring, and Mama B has a tendency to struggle when girls are going directly towards her. So at the end of the day, Sam Page is a huge favorite for the first time ever. I think she was a dog in every single one of her UFC fights she's had. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. This is her 12th UFC fight, and this is the first time she's favored. So that should say enough about Vegas and Shannon Bannon itself. So the pick is going to be Sam Page, Sam Hughes. The bet is going to be Sam Page, Sam Hughes. Next fight of the night is a battle of people that I'm not really fond of. We have Andreas Gustafsson at minus 115 against Renat Fakrdimov at minus 115, just a straight pick 'em. Over 2.5 is sitting at minus 195, under 2.5 at plus 150. Which one of these frauds are we starting with first? Let's start with Andreas. People are high and drinking the Kool-Aid on Andreas because of its last win against Chaos Williams, and I just don't really understand why. He's 12-2. He's also older. He's 34 years old. His wrestling is okay. He does have a wrestling background, but he predominantly wants to just clinch. He wants to just pressure forward, clinch against the cage, and wear you out. That is all he does. His striking's not good. His jiu-jitsu's not good. His cardio's not that good. And his wrestling is decent, but he doesn't go for a takedown. He just wants to clinch against the cage and dirty box and throw knees and elbows and just pressure you and bully you. That's all he wants to do. He's a very, very grindy style. A ton of pressure, like pressure personified. He does have a decent amount of power on him. But that's all he's going to do. If you've ever seen anyone dirty box inside of a clinch, that's what you're going to see. Pat Pitlick, who he beat in the Contender Series, is not UFC caliber. Chaos Williams rolled off the couch and took the fight on 1 week's notice and was a favorite in that fight. And then we have a whole bunch of guys with like losing records. The only guys he fought with winning records outside of Pat and Cass in the UFC, I should say on the regional scene, the only two people he fought with decent records he lost to. So it is what it is. He has a little bit of a cupcake record. I mean, fighting guys that are 26-80 is ridiculous. He's fought a very low level competition and fight tape. I'll be honest with you, I did very minimal fight tape on Andreas because he has fought the same exact way and he has not changed it up. So I did fight tape on him for Contender Series. And there's no need to do it again because he keeps fighting the same way. Pressure you, put you up against the cage, and just dirty box his way and break you down to a victory. That's all he wants to do is just bully you. On the other side, we have another just overhyped bully and Renat Fakrdimov. He's 33 years old. He has a decent amount of power on him as well. He has good wrestling. His striking is god awful. But when he cracks you, you do feel it. He slows down though. He does have a little bit of a cardio issue. Um, and I was watching the fight to where he fought Nicholas Dalby, and that was the concerning fight. Yes, he ultimately went out there and got the decision win via split. But my concern was that Nicholas Dalby was having some strike clinch success against him. Nicholas Dalby's clinch is nothing compared to Andreas's. So that is pretty concerning. Renat is also someone that likes to pressure forward. So if he's able to keep Andreas off of him because he's just as physically strong, he probably kills Andreas. If Andreas is able to implement his game plan of just clinching you against the cage, he's going to kill Renat. And I think it's a pretty 50-50 fight. I'm not too sure what's going to happen. And that's probably why this is lined as a straight pick 'em. Gun to my head, I'll go ahead and I'll take Andreas. In regards to a bet, I would say it's dog or pass. I've seen the line drop a little to where Renat was like minus 105, and then it goes right back up to a pick 'em. So if there is a point where Renat is reflecting as an underdog, go ahead and pull the trigger. Otherwise, this is a fight you really need to stay away from. I'm gonna go ahead and pick Andreas, but in regards to a bet, it's gonna be Renat if he ultimately goes off as the underdog. It's a little too much recency bias for Andreas. Next fight of the night is one I feel a lot more comfortable with. We have Brad Tavares at minus 220 going up against Robert Bryzek at plus 180. Over under set at 2.5. Over 2.5 at minus 215. Under 2.5 at plus 165. Let's start with the veteran and Brad Tavares. Talk about people you don't have to do fight tape on. Brad Tavares has been in the UFC for quite some time. Let's see. Let's pull this up. He's definitely on record for having some of the most wins in, or not wins, most fights in UFC history. Sorry, having some technical difficulties. There we go. Okay. So Brad is 37 years old, and he's effectively been in the UFC since 2010. Yeah, in 2010. We're into 2025. This dude's been in the UFC for 15 years. And he fights the exact same way. He has good striking. He has good cardio. He's as durable as all get out. I mean, his jiu-jitsu's not great, but it doesn't matter because he is really, really, really good takedown defense. He is damn near impossible to take down. He throws just enough. I'm not saying he's high volume. He's not low volume. He's averaging around like 3.5 significant strikes per minute. Nothing too crazy. He has virtually zero power. He knocks out absolutely nobody, but he just sticks and moves. He's hard to hit. He outpoints you. If you're championship level, you're the guy, the Yoel Romeros, the Robert Whitakers, the Israel Adesanyas, you'll go out there. and you'll beat this guy, Driscus Duplessis. He's fought literally everyone. But if you're someone who doesn't belong, such as old man Chris Weidman, GM3, Omari Akhmadov, Antonio Carlos Jr., all these guys that don't really cut it in the UFC, he's going to expose you. So if you're a good fighter, you can get past him. He's essentially he's the ultimate 185 gatekeeper. If you're not UFC level, he's going to expose you. That's what it comes down to. Is Robert Brysek UFC level? The answer is fuck no. He's absolutely terrible. He's rocking a 17-6 record over absolutely nobodies. He got absolutely exposed in his first UFC fights. People chalk it up to UFC jitters, but I don't care how nervous you are, you don't lose to Ihor Pretoria. Ihor Pretoria is one of the worst UFC fighters I've ever seen in my life. And he went out there and dominated Robert. Robert has pretty decent striking. He hits decently hard. But if he's not pressuring forward, he does not know how to counter strike. Like he is one of the worst counter strikers I've ever seen in my life. He has a wrestler build. He's short, he's stocky, real jacked, little short arms, but doesn't know how to wrestle. He's a god awful wrestler. He has god awful jujitsu. He has god awful volume. He's super, super hittable with how little he throws out there. All he is a pressure forward striker. And if you hit him, you can chin check him. I've seen him rocked on multiple occasions. And if you, even without hurting him, if you hit him enough, he'll start to back up and he can't counter strike. So it's going to be interesting because Brad likes to stick and move generally, and Robert likes to go forward. But I think Brad is just going to piece him up on the feet. I know Brad's old as dirt, being 37 years old, but Robert Bryce's 35. They're both out of their prime. Neither one is probably UFC level at this point, but Brad has proven it for 15 years. He's just fading and starting not to be that great. Robert was never that good. He's jacked for absolutely no reason, and he's probably going to get his shit rocked. So the pick is going to be Brad Tavares. The bet's going to be Brad Tavares, probably by decision, but you never know. Minus 220 is a good enough line to just parlay it with some things. Next fight of the night. We have Sam Patterson at minus 185 going up against Trey Waters at plus 155. Over under set at 1.5. Over 1.5 minus 190, under 1.5 at plus 145. Let's start with Sam Patterson. Sam Patterson's interesting. First and foremost, him going down to 155 is asinine. I have no idea how he made that weight class, and I think it affected his durability and his chin. The dude is 6'3". He should have never weighed 155 pounds. I don't know who told him that was a good idea. And he's looked much better at 170. In fact, he has not lost at 170 in the UFC. Impressive wins over Johan Lioness, Kiefer Crosby, Danny Barlow. And he's going out there and finishing them. And that's why the under is set at 1.5. Sam Patterson is an absolute finisher. He has okay striking. He has really, really, really good jiu-jitsu. Only problem is he doesn't really have good wrestling to get it down there. His chin being a problem. I've seen him knocked out before. I've seen him chin checked in multiple fights, but all of those are really at 155. So I'm just left not sure yet. He went out there and got a takedown over Kiefer Crosby. He went out there and got a takedown over Johan Lioness, because those two can't wrestle at all. Danny Barlow went out there and said he cut too much weight to make 170 and ultimately went down with the right hook. And Sam never got touched. So at 170, we don't know if he can take a punch or not because no one's done it yet. All in all, his cardio's fine. He's just a little hittable. So eventually, some guy's gonna piece this guy up, and we're gonna see if he actually has a chin at 170 or not. On the flip side, we have Trey Waters. Is this the time to pull the trigger and fade 170 Sam Patterson? It could be. Trey Waters is 30 years old. He's 9-1, so he doesn't have a ton of experience. But he's fought a decent level of competition considering his record. He has really good striking. He's definitely the better striker of the two. Throws a ton more volume than Sam Patterson does. I like that quite a bit. His jiu-jitsu is underrated. He's pretty decent on the ground. I know his only career loss is by decision, but that was to Gabriel Bonfim, who is just world class on the ground. That's not really fair. 85% takedown defense. So it doesn't matter if he's really that good on the ground or not. It's just hard to get him there. The dude has really good takedown defense. He has pretty decent cardio. I know he slowed down in his last fight against Billy Ray Goff, but Billy Ray Goff does that to absolutely everyone. If you're just going to stand there and point fight with Trey, he's tall, he's lanky, and he's a very good striker. Sam Patterson's tall, lanky, and a good striker, but I'll say Trey's better. I think Trey's better on the feet. When it comes to durability, Trey's better. He can take a better punch. In regards to jiu-jitsu, it's Sam Patterson all day. But he can't wrestle to get it down there. So ultimately, I think I am going to have to side with the underdog and Trey Waters. I think this is a good line for him to go out there and get the job done. So ultimately, the pick is going to be Trey Waters. The bet is going to be Trey Waters. Next fight of the night, we have Kawe Fernandez as a minus 160 favorite going up against short notice Harry Hardwick at plus 140. Over under set at 2.5. Over 2.5 minus 205. Under 2.5 at plus 175. Let's start with Harry Hardwick. I don't like the guy. Certain people you just don't like right away. I don't really like the way he looks. He just kind of has a hittable face and he pisses me off. And then I heard him talk, and he really annoyed me. I can't stand him even more. And then I saw the interview. I'm not an Anthony Smith guy at all. He annoys me too. But just the stuff he was saying about against a proven commodity when he's not even stepped foot in the UFC yet is just kind of stupid. I don't like this guy. He's super cocky. He's 28 years old, so he's in his prime. He's 13-3. He's a Cage Warriors guy, and Cage Warriors is not doing so hot in the UFC as of late. So, red flag number one. The fact that a lot of these times these guys come in on short notice, but they had a fight scheduled for a week later or a few weeks later, or they just had a fight and are coming out of fight camp. Like usually they have at least some semblance of a fight camp going. He had nothing. He had nothing scheduled. So when he's coming in on a week's notice, he's actually coming in on a week's notice. So his cardio is going to concern me here. He does have pretty good striking. His jiu-jitsu's okay, but it looks like his wrestling shit. He loves to pressure forward, and he can be chin checked. I don't like that at all. He's pretty hittable. I don't like that at all. And this is on the regional scene against guys that are not that good. So, um, yeah, if you're going out there and you're having to come from behind against people in Cage Warriors or getting rocked by guys that are 2-1, like that are 5-2, it's just very, very, very concerning. And then he's been subbed a few times. Granted, it was 7 years ago, so I'm not holding that against him. His jiu-jitsu has gotten much better, but at the end of the day, level of competition's trash. And I don't like the dude. If you give me a reason, if you give me someone that's a better striker or can chin check him or is a decent wrestler, I'll probably be more than happy to fade Harry Houdini Hardwick. And they gave me Kawe Fernandez, and that's interesting. Kawe does hit decently hard, so he could definitely knock out Harry. He is a very good striker, but I would say I wish he threw a little more. He's a Nova União project, so he has pretty decent jiu-jitsu in his back pocket if need be, but he doesn't really wrestle. He's actually the one usually getting grappled. We saw Mark Diakese go out there and just win by lay and pray, and Kawe couldn't do much about it. His cardio's okay. I would say Harry generally has the better cardio. But Kawe again had a full fight camp and Harry did not, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, he hits pretty hard. His takedown defense has gotten much better. His volume again, it's not good, it's not bad. I wish he threw a little more, but it's okay. Level of competition, fighting Mark Diakese and Guram Kutateladze, much better than the people that Harry Hardwick was fighting. So all in all, I like Kawe. I think he's a pretty decent fighter. I don't think he's ever going to be world champ or anything like that, but if you give him a low level guy, he will go out there and expose them. And I kind of think that's what they're giving him in Harry Hardwick. So at the end of the day, I'm going to side with the UFC vet here. And you're getting a good line on him at only minus 160. That's a good line. So the pick is going to be Kawe Fernandez. The bet is going to be Kawe Fernandez. Next fight of the night, we have another pick'em. We have Marcin Tybura at minus 115 going against Ante Delija at minus 115. Over under set at 2.5. Over 2.5 at plus 105, under 2.5 at minus 135. Let's start with Marcin Tybura. Marcin is 39 years old, so he's no spring chicken. He has okay striking, he has okay wrestling, he has okay jiu-jitsu, he has really good cardio for a heavyweight. He has a good level of competition. This is a rematch. These two did fight about 10 years ago for what have you. And Ante hurt his leg in round one, so we really didn't see much. The fight only lasted 2 minutes. And it was 10 years ago. The only con with Tybura is his chin. And you can say, uh, he's real chinny because he's been knocked out multiple times. But there's a method to the victory. There's a method to the madness. He went out there and he last got KO'd by, yeah, armbarred by Sergey. That was weird. But he last got KO'd by Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall hits like an absolute truck and is fast as fuck. He's just an athletic specimen. He went out there and he got knocked out by Augusta Sakai. That one's a little weird, a little outlandish, a little outlierish. He does hit very, very hard. And he is deceptively fast, but he's not too quick. He's not really an athlete. He's just deceptively fast. Shamil caught him as well. Shamil's not fast at all. But Derek Lewis hits super hard, and he's an athlete. Tim, or sorry, we have, was it Walt? Didn't Walt Harris knock him out too? Oh, that's Sergey Spivak. Sorry, I'm thinking of Sergey Spivak. At the end of the day, Marcin's chin is actually a little questionable, but I will say he has not been knocked out outside of Tom. Okay, Tom knocked him out too. Sorry, I'm a little tired today. I don't know why I was thinking of Sergey Spivak, but at the end of the day, Tybura, if you're going to beat him, you're usually going to chin check him. Alexander Volkov is just a striking savant, so there's no shame there. Tom Aspinall is a champion. Sergey Spivak is a top 10 guy. Alexander Volkov is a top 5 guy. Augustus Guy's cut, and Shamil retired. Derek Lewis is a top 10 guy. Fabricio Verdum is a former champion. Like, you have to be that good in order to beat Marcin Tybura. Is Ante Delije some sort of really good athlete who's going to come out there and dominate Marcin Tybura? No. I went back and I saw the fight tape. Thought he was pretty decent until I watched some of his recent fights, and I think he's fading. I'm like, is this guy old? Like, why does he look like this? And he's 35, which isn't old for heavyweight, but this guy used to walk around at like he used to fight at like 230, 240. Now he's coming in at like the 250, 260 range. I mean, he just looks older and slower, even though he's only 35. At his level of competition, knocking out Jorgen De Castro, like, that's not good. Beating Maurice Green, that's not good. Um, Matthews, that's not great. He has okay striking. He loves to pressure forward. He has sneaky good wrestling. But his jiu-jitsu is not great, and his chin isn't that great. All of his losses are by KO. His level of competition isn't that great when you really go back and look at it. He's a PFL vet, so it's not like he's fighting scrubs, but he's fighting not the guys that would not be ranked in the UFC, essentially. Maybe Valentin Moldavsky might be ranked in the UFC, but he has 2 losses to Bruno, and Bruno's a light heavyweight, so at the end of the day, I thought this guy was pretty decent, and then I went back and actually watched. This is why you do to fight tape. I went back and I watched him, and he is not that great. Is he a better striker than Marcin? It's pretty close. Is he a better wrestler than Marcin? It's pretty close. So if this turns into a really close striking affair, I understand why this line is a pick 'em. But although both of them are chinny, neither one of these guys hit particularly hard, and they both usually go to decision and victory. So for that reason, the over 2.5 being plus money definitely has my eye. And they say no rematch goes the same way as the first fight. The first fight ended in round one. So the second fight, let's see that decision at plus money. The pick is going to be Marcin Tybura. The bet is going to be the over 2.5 at plus money. Next fight of the night. We can save ourselves a little time because I think this is the safest fight on the card. We have Omar Sy at minus 455 going up against Bredson Ribeiro at plus 350. Over under set at 1.5. Over 1.5 minus 155. under 1.5 at plus 120. Let's start with Omar C. Again, this fight card is in France. I don't think I've been talking about hometown French guys yet. I don't know if there has been a French guy on the card yet or girl. There has not. We have our first one in Omar C. He has 11-1 coming off his first career loss. So we don't know how he's going to react coming off a loss. It's going to be the first time, so that'll be interesting. Outside of that, there's not really anything he's not better than Ribeiro at. He has a 2-inch reach advantage. He has the crowd behind him, being the French fighter. He has good striking. He has good wrestling. He has good jiu-jitsu. My problem with C is that he's a little too relaxed at times. He's an athlete. He's fast as fuck, especially for this weight class. And most of these light heavyweights can't wrestle to save their life. He figured that out, and he's been using that. He grew up a striker. He's predominantly a striker. And then someone showed him how to get a double leg. He's like, well, this is easier, and I don't have to get punched in the face. And he's been grappling ever since, and he's damn good at it. He's just the better wrestler. He's the better striker. He's the better jiu-jitsu practitioner. He has more durability. He is better everywhere. He just lacks a sense of urgency. Um, he's a mixed martial artist. He's not a fighter. If you're in a back alley, you can take this guy. If you're in an octagon and he has 15 minutes to dance around and play with you, he's going to beat you. That's what it comes down to. He is a mixed martial artist, not a fighter. Give me one sec. On the other side, we have Bredson Ribeiro, who is not a mixed martial artist or a fighter. He's just straight trash. He's 29 years old. He hits decently hard and he has okay striking. I will give him that. His jujitsu, he can tap you out if you have no idea what you're doing. But if you take like two jujitsu classes, you should be fine. And here's the kicker. He's very hittable. He's very chinny. He has a terrible level of competition and he's rocking a 0% takedown defense. It's only a few people I've ever seen that have a zero. Yeah, not 100 because no one shot on him, or a zero because no one's tried it. A zero. People are effectively 7 of 7 shooting takedowns on this man. Um, he has no chin, he has no wrestling, he has no takedown defense. He has no reason to be in the UFC. His wins are against guys who have 0 wins in the UFC. He's terrible. And to make things even worse, he's coming off of getting KO'd just 3 months ago. There's no way he's fully healed. So he's coming in compromised. So the guy with 0% takedown defense and a bad chin is flying across the world to fight a French guy in France compromised. This is a setup fight. The UFC likes C. The UFC wants C. The UFC is going to get C. The pick is Umar C. The bet is Umar C. You're getting a great line at minus 455. I have no idea why it's so low. Next fight of the night is a weird one. We have William Gomi at minus 260 going up against Robert Ruchala at plus 210. Over under set at 2.5. Over 2.5 minus 270. Under 2.5 at plus 200. One second. Apologize for the pause. My dog's chewing shit and I cannot stop sneezing. But we're good. We're back and we're ready to talk about my arch nemesis and William Gomi. William Gomi is weird. I don't like him. I don't think he's good, but he's very hard to beat. He's 28 years old, so he's in his prime. He is from France, so he is going to have the crowd behind him. His level of competition's not terrible, and Hyder Emil and Joe Anderson Brito and Francis Marshall and such. He hits and retreats. He does not like getting hit whatsoever. He will back the fuck up if you touch him. In regards to his jujitsu, it's not great. It's all right, but no, it's not all right. It's pretty bad, honestly. It's not that good. His wrestling's okay. He can sneak in takedowns here and there, but that requires getting close to someone, and he does not like that. He's tall, he's lanky, he's really fast and twitchy. He doesn't hit that hard, but he's very, very hard to hit. And when you do try to just grab a hold of him because he's so elusive, he's rocking a 73% takedown defense. Not the greatest in the UFC, but it's very effective being 73% of the time. His cardio, I used to think was trash, but he's gone a hard three. He's definitely slowed down, but he's got 15 minutes in him. His volume used to be extremely low, but his last fight, he went out there and he landed over 100 significant strikes. So he's getting better. And the crazy thing is, he did leave, excuse me, Cyril Gane's camp, and well, I forgot what it was, MMA Factory Paris, and he's looked better since leaving. He went out there and beat Joe Anderson Brito, which was a weird one. I thought Brito won personally, but they were in France and gave the French guy a rub. You're in France again, so bonjour. Yeah, still, for it to be that close against someone I actually just hold in high regard in Brito is impressive. Going out there and losing a split decision to Hyder Emil, who's not terrible. I thought he won that fight. So it does actually balance out. I had money on Hyder Emil. I was happy to get the decision. But that was a pretty close fight. It could have gone either way. And then he's kind of beat some lower level guys along the way. But at the end of the day, he's someone that I don't rate highly, but I cannot deny the constant improvement. And we went over this a few weeks ago with Piera Rodriguez. She went from a girl that I continually faded to a girl that switched camps. I saw her improve, and we ultimately won with her being a lock. And Gomi's kind of the same way. I saw a ton of holes. I didn't think he was UFC level, but he got a new camp and he has improved quite a bit. He's just so goddamn hard to hit. He hits and moves, hit and move, and no one can catch this dude. On the other side, we have Robert, who's an interesting case. He's coming in straight to the UFC, no contender series, no Ultimate Fighter. He is the KSW featherweight champion, and he's coming over straight into the UFC. Robert Ruchala had some interesting fight tape. I don't really know what he is, whether a striker or a grappler. He looked proficient in both. He's 27 years old. His He loves to pressure forward, which is good because you're gonna have to do that against William Gomi. You can't fight him at distance. You have to get in his face. He's very hittable. I don't like that. Gomi could piece him up if he wanted to. His wrestling's not very good. So although I think he's okay on the ground, I think he's a pretty shit wrestler. Although I think he's pretty good on the feet, I do think he's kind of hittable. He has a chance of winning this fight for sure. He can pull a Hyder Emil and just continue to pressure, mix in the takedown, and just land a whole bunch of strikes between the takedowns as you're pressuring Gomi. He could do the exact same thing. But Joe Anderson Brito tried to do that. And ultimately, in France, the decision went to Gomi. Hyder Emil tried to do that, and it was a split decision that could have went either way. And now we have Robert who's going to try to do that. I think he's worse than Brito and Emil. So if he went to split with both of the other two, won one and lost one, this guy is a lesser version, and he's in France again. I fucking hate to say it. I want to bet Robert. I might bet Robert just because I can't stand Gomi. But I think the right side is William Gomi. So for that reason, the pick is going to be Gomi. The bet's going to be Gomi. Do I want to do it? No. I'll probably have Gomi in a long parlay. But that's the only way I'm betting that fight. Next fight of the night is another one where my heart wants one thing, my mind's telling me another. We have Patricio Pitbull at plus 185 going up against Lucina Kita at minus 225. Over under set at 2.5. Over 2.5 minus 210. Under 2.5 at plus 160. Who the fuck is Lucina Kita, and why is he such a big favorite over Patricio Pitbull? Because he's 16 and 1. And he's honestly 16 and 0. His one career loss was a leg injury. He didn't lose the fight. He got injured partway through, and they had to stop the fight. So he's never officially lost. He's from Belgium, which is right next to France, so he will have the crowd behind him. He's 27 years old. He has really good striking and a ton of power. If he touches you, you go out. He's the Octagon featherweight and Octagon lightweight champion of the world, so he's a pretty decently big guy. And he hits like it. Last fight, knockout. Fight before that, decision. Last fight before that, knockout. Before that, decision, and the knockout. Like this dude hits damn hard and he pressures forward and he swings aggressively but effectively. He's a really, really, really good striker. I don't like how low he keeps his hands, and how he can be countered quite a bit. But his level of competition's okay. For it being a regional scene guy, he did go out there, and again, he's a double champ at a good regional scene in Octagon. And he's fighting the best of the best over there and getting dubs and getting knockouts. So he's very, very good. He's never been beaten, just the one injury. And that doesn't really count. 1 minute into the fight, he had a foot injury. So at the end of the day, I understand why the UFC got him. And it's interesting because a lot of these guys that come in and don't have to go through contender series, um, they are at least taking the fight on short notice. This isn't short notice. I can't tell you the last time they brought in someone. Well, obviously, not. I'm not going to count PFL or Bellator where they're like former champs and they're bringing them in. When's the last time you saw a guy come in, have a full camp, and be a big favorite over a top guy? Patricio Pitbull is a he just beat a top 10 contender at 145 in the UFC, and now he goes from fighting Dan Ige, who's a top 10 guy, to Kita and being a plus 200 dog damn near. Is Kita that good? We're gonna find out. Do they think Pitbull is that washed? Possibly. He's 38 years old. He has good striking. He hits extremely hard. He has decent wrestling. He just refuses to use it. He has a BJJ black belt. He just refuses to use it. He's fought a good level of competition. But he's pretty low volume. And his durability is getting a little suspect, as he's getting older in age, being 38 years old. He has good cardio, but it's tough not to have good cardio when you're hardly throwing anything. I just hate how low volume he is. I mean, he's a very good counter striker, and Kita does give you the opportunity to counter him. So I could see this under hitting, whether it's Kita just bum rushing the 38-year-old or Kita going in wild and getting caught with a counter because Pitbull hits damn hard. But Pitbull's little. Pitbull has had a fight just like 3 or 4 fights ago at 135. He's probably a true bantamweight, and he just has such a speed advantage, and he's so damn powerful that he can just go up to 145. I've seen him go up to 155 and knock out people like Michael Chandler. But his last career loss outside of Yair, I should say his last knockout loss, was because he went up too high and fought a huge lightweight. That's a concern. Kita's a current lightweight champion at Octagon. Yes, he can make 145. Yes, he's a champ in both weight classes. But we've seen Pitbull go down to 135. We've seen Kita go up to 155. And for that reason, the fact that Kita is fighting a top 10 guy, not going to contender series and is the favorite, we've every time we see this, they win. I think Pitbull's live. I think the under's live. But my gut and my heart are two different things. My heart wants Pitbull, but my brain and my gut are both telling me Kita gets this done. So the pick is going to be Kita. The bet's going to be Kita. The UFC wants the 27-year-old guy with the crowd behind him to win over the 38-year-old aging Brazilian who already has a name. They're trying to give him a name. Pick is Kita. The bet is Kita. Next fight of the night is one where I am going to trust what's going on in my gut as well. We have Alex Sola at minus 135 going up against Reese McKee at plus 115. Over under set at 2.5. Over 2.5 minus 165. Under 2.5 at plus 130. Let's start with Alex Sola. He is the French guy coming over into France. He is a 155-pound Aries champion. He has the crowd behind him. He's 27 years old. He has okay striking. He has okay wrestling. He has pretty decent cardio. He has really good cardio. His jiu-jitsu is all right. He's a little bit of a generalist, to be honest with you. Things I don't like is the fact that he's making his UFC debut as the favorite. I don't like that he generally fights at 155 and this fight is at 170. I don't like how goddamn hittable he is. I don't like that he seemingly loses every single first round I ever watched. I don't like that I've seen him chin check before, and I don't like his level of competition. There's a lot not to like for a debuting youngster as a favorite over a UFC veteran. Reese McKee, this is going to be his fifth or sixth fight in the UFC. He has half as many fights in the UFC than Alex does or Axel does in his career. So at the end of the day, I understand why Axel is a prospect, but I think if this fight isn't in France, he's not in the UFC. That's what it comes down to. Do I think Reese is that good? No, not really. Reese is 29. He has good striking. He has good cardio. He has an okay level of competition. His jiu-jitsu's all right. His wrestling's trash, 41% takedown defense. Reese is also a very slow starter, so this will be interesting. Slow starter versus slow starter. But in his last fight, he didn't start slow. He came out there and murdered Daniel Frunza in the first round. Absolutely killed him. Reese himself is pretty hittable. And he's fought a French guy in France recently. He fought Angelusa, and he went out there, had a slow start, and then almost finished Angelusa in round three. Reese has good cardio. He has sneaky power. He's more of a death by a thousand cuts guy, but in round two, round three, he will put you away. He has a ton of round three, round four finishes. You see it repeatedly. I mean, his losses are good. Angelusa is a little chinny, and a little bit of a gas bag, but ultimately a good fighter. Chidi and Chikwani, he lost a split. Chidi is a decent fighter. Hamzat is the current champion at 185. And Alex Morono, not the greatest now, but back in 2020, he's an okay fighter. Problem I have with Reese is his takedown defense. If this thing stays on the feet, I think I favor Reese. In regards to cardio, I think it's a wash. In regards to wrestling, or sorry, in regards to jiu-jitsu, I think it's a wash. In regards to wrestling, I think it's Alex. But is Alex going to be able to keep Reese down? And is Alex going to shoot a takedown? That's what it comes down to. If Alex comes on with a singlet, he can win this fight, and the 135 or minus 135 is justified. If he comes out here and wants to stand and bang in his debut in front of his hometown crowd, he's running a risk that he loses this fight. Which one is Alex going to do? I don't know. It's his fucking debut. So for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and side with Reese because I know what I'm getting. So the pick is Reese McKee. The bet is going to be Reese McKee. Next fight of the night, we have Balaji Oki at plus 115 going up against Mason Jones at minus 135. Over under set at 2.5. Over 2.5 minus 175. Under 2.5 at plus 135. Let's start with Borrahlo. Borrahlo is not someone I rate highly. He's 29 years old. He has good striking. He has pretty decent power. He throws a decent amount of volume at times. He's 85% takedown defense, which is a pretty decent number. But his jiu-jitsu's trash. You can back him up quite a bit. If you want to pressure forward, he is liable to go backwards. And he's much better when he's going forward. We saw people like Timmy Kawamba back him up. We saw people like Michael Aswell in his last fight back him up. Um, and it's weird because he's only beat 145-pound short notice guys in the UFC. He beat Timmy Kawamba, who's a 145 pounder. He took the fight on like 5 days' notice. He got slapped by Chris Duncan with a guillotine. And then Michael Aswell is a 145-pound fighter who took the fight on 5 days' notice. Like he hasn't beat a lightweight in the UFC. He's only beat featherweights. And that's good for Oki because he's a strong, powerful bully. That's how he fights. He's a good striker. He wants to overwhelm you. He wants to overpower you. Ultimately, put your lights out is what he wants to do. It's all he can do. He can't grapple. His defensive wrestling's fine. His offensive wrestling's trash. He shot his head right into a guillotine against Chris Duncan. His jiu-jitsu's trash. His cardio's shockingly good for the way he's built. Power pretty decent. But again, he's just a bully against 145-pound fighters. Mason Jones is a 155er, and Mason Jones is better. Mason Jones is 30 years old. He has good striking. He has good jiu-jitsu. He's a BJJ black belt. He has good wrestling. He's a judo black belt. He has good cardio. I've never seen the man get tired. He has good durability. He's never been knocked out. He has a ton of volume, and he pressures you. Again, Oki, not great backing up. Mason Jones does nothing but pressure you. This is a tailor-made matchup for Mason Jones outside of one thing. He's hittable. And holy fuck is he hittable. He just marches forward and thinks striking defense is optional. He doesn't think it's a requirement. He thinks that it's just taught for absolutely no reason, for whatever reason. He lets you punch him in the face, and I hate that. Please do not let Belagioki punch you in the face. It may not end well. Belagioki hits pretty damn hard, Mason. Please do not do that. Please take him down, actually. If he takes him down, he is a BJJ black belt. He will sub Oki with the quickness. Is Mason Jones going to wrestle? If he does that, like he did against David Onama, he wins. And like he did against Jeremy Stevens, he wins. But if he goes out here and just strikes like he did with Ludevic Klein, like he did with Mike Davis, although he's a good striker, he's liable to lose at the end of the day. That's what it comes down to. If he wrestles, he wins. If he strikes, it's going to be real close. I think he can out volume Oki, but I think Oki's going to have a ton of shots landed on Jones, and it is going to scare me. What I think we're going to get is what we always get. He goes out there, he tries to strike in round one because he's a striker at heart. His coach or his corner yell at him in between rounds. What the fuck are you doing? Take him down and win the fight. And then he goes, God damn it, okay. And then he goes out there and he wrestles. He went out there in a close fight against David Onama. Very, very close round one. His corner yelled at him, said, for the love of God, just take him down. He did and won easy. He fought Jeremy Stevens in his last fight. He went out there and had a just dick swinging competition round one. His corner screamed at him. He went out there and wrestled round two and three, and he won easy. I think he's going to do it again. He's going to go out there and he's going to try to strike with Belagioki. As long as he doesn't get knocked out, which is possible, his corner's going to fucking yell at him, and then he's going to get a takedown. And honestly, he can sub Oki. He doesn't have to just take him down and play it safe. He can sub Oki. Oki doesn't know what's going on the ground. So at the end of the day, Mason Jones has a chance to win on the feet. He can definitely win on the ground. He can win a decision. He has more ways to win. Minus 135 is a decent line, but for the love of God, take him down or move your fucking head. Keep it off the center line, or you might be in some trouble. The pick is Mason Jones. The bet's Mason Jones, but he scares the absolute shit out of me. Next fight of the night is probably the worst fight. We have Modestas Bukakas at minus 355 going up against Paul Craig, Bear Jew Craig at plus 280. Over under set at 1.5. Over 1.5 at minus 140. Under 1.5 at plus 110. Let's start with Bukakas. We can waste where we can fly through this one because this fight kind of sucks. Bukakas is 31. He has a 2-inch reach advantage. He has okay striking. He counters extremely well, but in doing so and being a counter striker, he's pretty low volume. He's a BJJ black belt, but he just has okay jiu-jitsu. His cardio is really good. And his takedown defense is decent at 77% takedown defense. He's a little chinny, but that's not really going to come into effect in a fight against Paul Craig. Modestas Bukakas wins in the UFC, the Rafael Sakiras, the very questionable Ian Cutelaba split decision win, Marcin Prachnio, Zach Puaga, Tyson Pedro, who retired. Like, none of those are good wins. Andreas Michailidis. He has no good wins in the UFC, period. His losses, Jimmy Crute, that one's not aging well. Michael Oleachechuk, Michael's the GOAT. Khalil Roundtree, Khalil's gotten much better, but that was 2021 Khalil Roundtree, so not the same. And Vitor Petrino, that one's not aging well. So, yeah, he's going out there and getting finished against guys that are decent. And he's going out there and beating you if you're not UFC caliber. Is Paul Craig UFC caliber? He was at 37 at 205. After going down to 185, he's coming back up to 205. Is Paul Craig UFC caliber? Probably not. He has world-class jiu-jitsu. He can sub anyone. Problem is he can't wrestle. Problem is he can't strike. Problem is he has no cardio. Problem is he has no chin. He's fought a great level of competition, has great wins in the UFC. He's choked out the champ in Magomed Ankalaev. He choked out the former champ in Jamal Hill. He has wins over Andre Muniz and Nikita Krylov. Um, Shogun, like these are all good on paper. But if you crack this guy, he's going out. I mean, I see this fight going one of two ways. It's either going to look like the Volkan Ozdemir fight, where he's going to go out there. Um, Modesta's going to play the floor as lava, and he's just going to jab him to death and ultimately win a really boring decision. or it's going to look like the Bo Nickel fight where they go out there and they have a competitive striking fight. Both very, very, because again, Modestus is low volume. Paul Craig is low volume. So they could just stare at each other the whole time like Bo Nickel and himself did. I could see that happening as well. At the end of the day, I think the safest bet is going to be the over 1.5 here. Yes, they're both chinny, but neither one of them hit particularly hard. And Paul Craig can't get the takedown, and Modestus will refuse to take him down. So we're looking at a striking match. Modestus is much better on the feet, but he doesn't throw. So at the end of the day, we're going to look at that over 1.5 at minus 140. I think that's a good number. So the pick is going to be Modestus Bukakis. The bet is going to be the over 1.5. And that takes us to the co-main event of the evening. We have Benoit Saint Denis at plus 150 going up against Mauricio Rufy at minus 180. Over under set at 1.5. Over 1.5 minus 165. Under 1.5 at plus 130. Let's start with Mauricio Rufy. Rufy is 12-1. He is a fighting nerd. He has a 2-inch reach advantage. He has great striking. He has a ton of power. He throws pretty decent volume. He has very, very, very good counters. That's about it. He's not that good. He's very overhyped, to be honest with you. He's rocking 100% takedown defense, but a lot of that was James Yalentop, so I don't take that with a grain of salt. His cardio's trash. I've seen him death gas before and then get KO'd. I saw him death gas against James Yalentop and barely win. Outside of that, all of his wins, round one. He had a round three win. That's nice. Round two, round one. Excuse me, 1 minute in the round two, round one. He has all of these round one or early round two finishes because he gasses. He has bad cardio. I don't know if his jujitsu is good or not. We don't ever see it. He's fighting at fighting nerds, and most of them, like, the Barrios and the Prates are all black belts. So he's fighting with a whole bunch of black belts. You assume he knows what's going on the ground, but 100% takedown defense, we don't really know. It's just a complete unknown. What I do know is that one shot has really bad cardio. That's what I know. I know that one shot has fought a very sketchy level of competition. Jamie Larky's not great. Bobby Green is old as dirt. And James Top's no longer in the promotion. Those are his 3 UFC wins. So let's not crown this guy the next champ. If you're giving me someone that I don't believe in, I'll probably ride with Rufy. I did with King Green. I did with Jamie Malarkey. Um, James Yontop, I bet the plus 3.5. And it was an easy cash. Um, Outside of that, I feel like I have a good read on Rufy. I don't know what I'm doing in this fight because I think BSD is trash. I do not believe in Benoit Saint Denis at all. I don't understand why he's ranked the way he is. He is 29 years old. He'll have the crowd behind him. He has decent jiu-jitsu. His wrestling's okay. His striking's okay, but holy fuck, is this guy hittable? This guy can slow down in his fights, but he'll keep fighting well tired. But he is not the same guy in round three than he is in round one. He definitely has about 9 minutes worth of cardio, and then is just fighting with sheer heart the whole last round. Um, he does pressure quite a bit, and that scares me because Rufy's a really, really, really good counter striker, and BSD is really, 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 really hittable. And we've seen him knocked out. We've seen him chin checked against Gabriel Miranda. We saw him chin checked against Matt Frivola. We saw him chin checked against Hanato Moicano. Like, yeah, he has decent wrestling and he's not really getting knocked out outside of the staph infection. But I think people are giving him too much of a pass for that staph infection. He was getting rocked by Gabriel Miranda prior to that. He got rocked by Thiago Moises prior to a staph infection. So let's not act like the whole fight where he got that ref thrown out. Remember when that ref got thrown out of a building because he let the fight go too long and a fighter almost like died? Yeah, that was Benoit Saint Denis. We've seen him get the shit kicked out of him on more than one occasion. We've seen him hurt on more than one occasion. This dude's not invincible, as much as he like to tell you. But if he gets the takedown, Rufy's in trouble, especially if he keeps shooting them, because Rufy does not have good cardio. If Rufy has to stuff takedowns the entire fight, he's going to gas out, and Benoit is going to take over. If Benoit just charges him like a madman because he's in France, like he did the last time he was in France, he's in trouble because Hanato destroyed him. Before that, he was fighting Gabriel Miranda. He got rocked badly against Gabriel fucking Miranda. I just can't unsee that. So BSD needs to chill the fuck out and he needs to put on a singlet and he can tire out Rufy and win this fight. Will he do that? I don't know. Is plus 150 enough to get me to pull the trigger? No. But am I gonna bet Rufy at minus 180? No. I'll probably just take the under, and I'll take an alt line. I'll take the under 2.5, or I'll take the fight doesn't go the distance and just parlay that. That's the only way I'm taking it. So the pick is gonna be Rufy. The bet is gonna be fight doesn't go the distance. And if you want to take the dog shot on BSD, I totally understand it. If I'm up at that point, I'll probably take the shot as well. And that takes us to the main event. If you haven't already, smash the like, give a follow over on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, wherever there's social media. There's a Stats and Stacks podcast. We have Nazardine Imavov at plus 110 going up against Kyle Borrallo at minus 130. Over under set at 4.5. Over 4.5 minus 195. Under 4.5 at plus 150. Let's start with Nazardine. Nazardine is going to be the hometown favorite here. I did not get a good read on this one. I apologize. I forgot the cue card for it, so we're just going off of straight memory, baby. Nazarene's a good striker. He has pretty decent takedown defense. Sneaky good jiu-jitsu, a good front choke series, a lot of like darts chokes and guillotines and stuff like that. Good level of competition fighting Israel Adesanya in his last fight. Brendan Allen, Jared Cannonier, Roman Dolidze, like Chris Curtis, these Sean Strickland, these are really, really, really good fighters. Problem I have with Nasruddin is his cardio. He does have a tendency to slow down quite a bit. We saw him slow down against Phil Hawes badly and lose. We saw him slow down badly against Sean Strickland and lose. The Chris Curtis one was weird, the eye poke. We saw him slow down quite a bit in that Brendan Allen fight. And all these fights where he's slowing down, Sean Strickland, no, but Phil Hawes and Brendan Allen wrestled a lot, and that got the striker tired. Is he from Russia? Yes. But most of his life and training and stuff is set in France. So he is the France guy. He will have the crowd behind him. But people in France like to strike, not wrestle. And he's not used to grappling that much. And if you grapple a ton, you can tire him out. Is Kyle going to come out and wrestle? I don't really know, to be quite frank with you. He doesn't even need the takedowns. He just needs to shoot them to tire out Imavov. That's what I would do. And Kyle generally is known for having the best game plans. He always comes in and does the right thing. Kaio has world-class jiu-jitsu. His wrestling's not that good. That's the problem. But I don't think he necessarily needs the takedown. He just has to present the threat of it. He has pretty decent striking, and it's getting better and better and better each fight. His cardio, I've seen him slow down in fights, but his cardio has looked better and better and better every fight. And again, if it does hit the ground, he's world class on the ground. If he gets your back, it's over. The round's over. So maybe he just climbs Imavov like a tree. Maybe he just hits a duck under and then gets behind him and kind of rides him while standing up, whatever he has to do. If Kyle gets behind you, it's over. If you just box with Kyle, I think Imavov's the better striker. Jiu-jitsu, it's definitely Kyle. Wrestling is a wash. I really don't know. Cardio, wash. It's a really close fight. It's striker versus grappler, but the striker is decent at grappling and the grappler is decent at striking. Who's better at what? This is a really weird fight. But both guys are durable. I've never seen Imavov finished. I've never seen Kaio finished. So that over 4.5 at minus 195, why pick a side when you can just parlay the over? So the pick is going to be Kyle Borrallo. The bet's going to be the over 4.5, and probably a boring fight to end the night. And that's UFC Paris. It's a super fun fight card. I see a lot of decisions happening. But as long as we're on the right side and we're making money, it's going to be one hell of a morning, not night. Noon o'clock, noon Eastern. Don't forget. Let's get after it.